Might Biden be the Democratic nominee's replacement? After the conclusion of the first presidential debate, incumbent Joe Biden has not fared well. On Thursday, Mr. Biden primarily wanted to allay worries regarding his age. Rather, the discussion strengthened them. According to reports, some Democratic lawmakers and operatives emailed CNN pundits in the hopes that Mr. Biden, 81, would resign. There were many who suggested that he visit the White House and voice their open reservations about him continuing as a contender. Could Mr. Biden please withdraw now? What would take place? And who might take his place? Is Joe Biden able to step back? At the Democratic National Convention, DNC, which takes place in Chicago from August 19, 22, the official Democratic Party nominee will be selected. A contender has to secure the endorsement of the majority of delegates, party officials who formally select the nominee there. Based on the outcomes of each state's primary election, delegates are distributed to the contenders in a proportionate manner. Mr. Biden secured nearly 99% of the nearly 4,000 delegates available this year. Those delegates are pledged to him and required to back his nomination per DNC regulations. But it would be a free-for-all if Mr. Biden withdrew. Democrats would be left with an open convention, as neither he nor anyone else in the party has an established process to select his successor. Though they would ultimately be free to do as they like, Mr. Biden would presumably have some influence over his promised delegates. That might cause Democrats vying for the nomination to get into a furious race. It is also important to note that Mr. Biden has not yet indicated that he has given any thought to resigning. Is it possible to eject him? This eventuality is considerably less likely. There is no evidence of any real intentions to attempt a hostile takeover of the nomination by a major national party in the modern period of politics. Nevertheless, there are a few minor gaps in the DNC bylaws that theoretically could allow for Mr. Biden's removal. Delegates may, in all good conscience, reflect the sentiments of those who elected them, according to the rules, which means they may turn to someone else if a sizable portion of the Democratic base nationwide turned against Mr. Biden. Could Biden be replaced by Kamala Harris? If Vice President Biden were to resign while serving as president, Vice President Kamala Harris would automatically assume the role. However, in the event that Mr. Biden withdraws from the campaign for president in November, the same regulations will not apply, and there would be no system in place to give the vice president the advantage at an open convention. Rather, like any other candidate, Ms. Harris would need to secure the majority of delegates. Given her current position on the Democratic ticket, Ms. Harris is likely to receive preference. It's possible that her low popularity among Americans will offset this benefit. 538 reports that her net disapproval is currently less than those of Donald Trump and Joe Biden. With Biden gone, who could replace him? This election season, a number of Democrats attempted to run against Biden, including writer Marianne Williamson and Representative Dean Phillips of Minnesota. However, neither will probably make the top of any shortlist because they were both long-shot bids. There is conjecture that Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer or California Governor Gavin Newsom would serve as replacements. But neither contender has indicated that they would be interested in taking Mr. Biden's place. Mr. Newsom declared, "I will never turn my back on President Biden," during the debate spin session in Atlanta on Thursday. "I've known him for a long time and am aware of his accomplishments during the past 3.5 years. I have no fear since I'm aware of his potential and his vision.